I don't scare easy, but that morning I woke up with a cold plastic hand resting on my chest. It was a doll, a porcelain doll I'd never seen before. And the worst part? I live alone. That's when everything in my life started going very, very wrong. If you love true horror stories or can't look away from the creepy stuff, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me until the end. Because this isn't just about a doll. It's about something that wanted in, and it did. I woke up like any other day, groggy, a little annoyed at my alarm, reaching for my phone. But the moment my hand brushed against something cold beside me, I froze. It wasn't my blanket. It wasn't my pillow. It was something hard, smooth, and not supposed to be there. I turned my head slowly, still half asleep, and that's when I saw it. A dollar. Just lying there next to me, propped up like it had been placed intentionally. It wasn't some cheap toy either. It was porcelain, pale, delicate, old. The kind of doll you'd expect to see in your grandmother's attic, not in your bed. Its cheek had a little crack, just enough to look like it had once been dropped. The eyes were glassy and wide open, staring straight ahead, and the lips painted into this faint, unsettling smile. I jumped out of bed so fast I almost tripped. My heart was pounding, like my body knew something my brain hadn't caught up to yet. I live alone. I don't collect dolls, I don't even like them. So how the hell did this thing end up in my bed? I stood there for a minute, staring at it like maybe it would explain itself. Then I grabbed a towel, wrapped the doll in it without touching it directly, and tossed it in the kitchen trash can. Slammed the lid down like that would somehow trap it. I even took the trash bag out, tied it, and left it outside the door. Just in case. I told myself it had to be a prank. Maybe someone broke in, left it as a joke. But my door was locked, no signs of forced entry. Maybe it was delivered accidentally, but how would it end up in my bed? No package, no box, no note. It was just there, sitting right beside me like it belonged. I tried to shake it off, told myself I must have been sleepwalking, dreaming, something. But deep down, even in that moment, I knew something was off. This wasn't just weird. It felt wrong. The kind of wrong that sticks to your skin, no matter how hard you try to ignore it. I didn't sleep well that night. Kept waking up every hour, listening for sounds I couldn't quite place. My apartment's always been quiet. Too quiet, honestly. But that night, it felt like the silence had weight to it, like the air itself was holding its breath. Around 2:30 a.m., I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. It was so faint at first, I thought maybe it was the wind against the window. But then it started again. A sharper, more deliberate sound, like something small and hard tapping against wood or tile. Not random, rhythmic, intentional. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to know. But curiosity, or fear, got the better of me. I grabbed my phone for the flashlight and stepped out into the hallway. Every shadow felt deeper. Every creak in the floor echoed. I walked slowly, checking each room, whispering to myself that it was nothing. Then I saw it, sitting on my living room couch. The doll. Same cracked cheek. Same lifeless eyes. Sitting upright, legs dangling off the edge like someone had just set it there. I froze. I couldn't breathe. I had thrown it away, outside, double-bagged it. How the hell was it here again? I backed up into the wall and just stared at it for a while, half expecting it to move, half hoping it wouldn't. I called a couple friends, not because I thought they'd believe me, but because I needed to hear another human voice. Nobody answered. It was late. I texted one of them. "You come by earlier or something?" No reply. Then I checked my door. Still locked. Deadbolt still turned. Chain still on. I stood there in the middle of my own apartment, feeling like a stranger in it, like something else had moved in, something I hadn't invited. I didn't touch the doll this time. I left it where it sat and went back to my bedroom, locked the door, and sat up in bed with the lights on until the sun came up. You ever feel like something's watching you, even when you know you're alone? That was the start of it. From that point on, the apartment didn't feel like mine anymore. Something had shifted, and that doll, whatever it was, It wasn't done with me yet. Over the next few days, the doll didn't leave. I didn't touch it, didn't go near it. But no matter where I was in the apartment, I always felt like it was nearby, watching me, waiting. At first, I left it on the couch, hoping maybe it'd just disappear again, like some bad dream I hadn't fully woken from. But it didn't. And then it started moving. Subtle at first, I'd find it leaning slightly to the side, or with its head turned in a way I swore it hadn't been before. I thought maybe I was imagining it. Maybe my mind was just spiraling, so I started taking photos, comparing them. The changes were real. The creepiest moment came when I came home from work and found it sitting at the dining table, perfectly upright, both hands placed in its lap, facing the chair I usually sit in. That night, my dog, a mutt named Milo, completely lost it, barking at the living room like there was someone standing there. His fur was standing straight up, tail down, growling so deep it didn't even sound like him. And the moment he saw the doll, he whimpered and ran into the bedroom to hide under the bed. He never does that. I tried to record it, to prove to myself that something real was happening. I set up my phone to film the living room while I slept, watched the footage the next morning with my stomach in knots. Nothing moved. But around 3:12 a.m., the screen flickered, just for a second. And when it came back, the doll was no longer on the couch. It was on the floor, lying face down, like it had fallen or had been thrown. I started hearing whispers too, faint, like a child's voice just out of reach. I'd be brushing my teeth and hear giggling from the hallway, or lying in bed and swear someone said my name. I even asked my upstairs neighbor if they'd heard anything strange lately. They gave me this weird look and said, "I didn't think anyone lived down here. I haven't heard a sound for weeks." I knew then, this wasn't just some prank. This wasn't me losing my mind. Something was in that doll, or behind it, and it had already made itself at home. I hit a breaking point when I found the doll in my bedroom again, this time sitting on my pillow, right where I lay my head. That morning, something in me snapped. Fear turned into obsession. I had to know where it came from, what it was, and why it was doing this. So I started digging. I Googled everything I could about porcelain dolls, especially antique ones. Scrolled through forums, old Reddit threads, collector websites. Most were harmless stories. But then I found a thread from 2 years ago. Someone posted a photo that stopped me cold. It looked exactly like my doll. Cracked cheek, same painted eyes, even the faint little chip on the shoulder. The post said the doll had belonged to a missing girl named Clara from upstate. The thread was full of theories. Some thought she ran away, others thought the doll was cursed. The poster said Clara's parents found the doll sitting upright on the porch a week after she vanished. It had been missing from her room the night she disappeared. My skin crawled. That girl was never found. I kept searching, getting deeper, until I found a local real estate listing from years ago, my apartment building. There was a comment in the listing history, just a quick note, but it mentioned a death on site. I called the property manager and pretended to be someone looking to rent. Asked casually if anyone had died in the unit I was in. Silence, then a sigh. He told me a young girl had died in that apartment, in the bedroom. It was ruled an accident, some kind of fall. The family moved out not long after. He didn't give a name, but I already knew. It was Clara. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined her standing in the corner of my room, watching me. And the doll? I'd locked it in the hallway closet, duct taped the door shut, but around 3 a.m., I heard something shifting on the other side, the soft creak of plastic brushing wood, like it was moving. I wasn't just scared anymore. I was being hunted. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't finished, and now I wasn't sure I'd make it through another night. I decided it was time to end it. I didn't care if it was cursed, haunted, possessed. I didn't want it in my life another second. I didn't want answers. I wanted it gone. So I made a plan. I waited until midnight, grabbed gloves, a garbage bag, and a hammer. I opened the closet door slowly, bracing myself. The doll was right where I'd left it, sitting on the floor like it had been waiting. I didn't hesitate. I scooped it into the bag, tied it tight, and took it outside to the fire pit behind the building. It was cold, too cold for how the air should have felt in early fall. I could see my breath, feel my hands shaking, not just from the chill, from what I was about to do. I lit the fire. The bag hissed as the heat touched it, but the flames didn't catch. Not really. They flickered, then died. I tried again, and again. The wood would burn, but the doll, it just wouldn't catch, like it was resisting. And then the wind shifted, hard, fast, like it sucked all the air out of the yard. The trees around me stopped moving. The whole world paused, and I heard it, right behind me. Laughter, software, high, like a little girl's voice playing in the dark. I turned around, heart hammering in my throat. No one there. Nothing but shadows and the fire crackling weakly. But when I looked back at the pit, the bag was open, torn from the inside. The doll was sitting outside the flames, perfectly upright, not a mark on it. I backed away, breath shallow, knees shaking, and then the lights in the house flickered, all of them. I ran back in, locked the door, bolted it. I grabbed my phone, tried to call someone, anyone, but it was dead. No signal, no power, no help. I turned and there it was, the doll, standing in the hallway, standing, its head tilted just slightly, eyes fixed on me, and behind it, just for a moment, I saw the silhouette of something taller, darker, not the shape of a child, something else entirely. I don't remember much after that, just cold, a voice whispering in my ear, and then nothing. I blacked out, or something blacked me out. I woke up the next morning on the floor of my bedroom. The sun was shining through the blinds like nothing had happened, like it was just another ordinary day. My clothes were damp with sweat. My head was pounding, and for a second I couldn't move. I just laid there, staring at the ceiling, trying to piece together if any of it had even been real. When I finally stood up and opened the door, the apartment looked normal, clean, quiet, too quiet. No sign of the doll, no scratches on the floor, no closet door swinging open, just silence. It almost felt like the place was mocking me, like whatever had happened had simply reset. But the feeling didn't leave. I took a long shower, hoping the hot water would wash away the dread that still clung to me. But when I looked in the mirror afterward, something was off. Nothing obvious, just off. My eyes looked tired, like I hadn't slept in weeks. My skin looked pale, like something had drained the color right out of me. And then I saw it. In the reflection, behind me, just for a second, I saw her, a little girl, pale with long dark hair, standing in the hallway staring. When I spun around, there was nothing, just my empty apartment. I told myself I was imagining it, that it was leftover fear, trauma, exhaustion, but I knew better. I packed a bag that night, called in sick to work, left the apartment and booked a hotel, slept with the lights on. But even then, I felt it, like something had attached itself to me. Not the doll, maybe, but whatever had been using it, whatever had come through. I broke my lease the following week, didn't go back for most of my stuff. I didn't care. I just needed out. Now I live across town, smaller place, brighter, more people around. I haven't seen the doll since, but every so often, late at night, I'll hear a faint sound, just 3 soft taps against the wall, or a child's laugh drifting in from nowhere. I don't think it ever left. I think it's waiting. That doll, it changed everything. And if you're watching this, maybe it's already found a way into your world too. If this creeped you out even half as much as it did me, leave a comment, share your weird stories, and don't forget to subscribe. Just don't look under your bed tonight.